This is the Alcohol Free Lifestyle Podcast, where you learn to live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Who would you identify as the biggest opponent in your life? As my teenager would call it, the biggest op in your life. Someone who just seems to get in your way, keep you down, belittles you, tells you stories about you. You may see where I'm going with this. Is your biggest opponent yourself? If so, I get it. Welcome to the podcast. This is Victoria English. I'm the head coach here at Alcohol Free Lifestyle, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Today, we are going to do some mindset shifts, or as our founder, James Swanwick, calls them, flipperoonies. Sounds a lot cooler when he says it in his accent. The flipperoonie. Where does our mindset come from? Whew, that's a long story. It comes from our past, our childhood, social influences, cultural influences, society in general, social media, the news, so many different things. And of course, past experience. Now, the thing is with past experiences involving alcohol is that we repeat the same behaviors over and over again until we start to believe that those characteristics, those things about us are actually who we are. It's difficult to break out of that fixed mindset, meaning the opposite of a growth mindset, when we are in the cycle of alcohol. Again, there's lots of reasons for that. A big one goes back to the physiology and the science of alcohol use disorder. Our prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks things through, the part that considers different perspectives, literally shrinks with repeated and excessive use of alcohol. And so, simply put, we don't have the same capacity for expansive thought. Additionally, we keep reinforcing these old mindsets, these fixed mindsets, because it seems that no matter what we do, we keep getting in our own way. It's very difficult and frustrating to go through this. It's even more difficult when you're doing it within the confines of your own mind. So today, as I said, I'm going to take some old mindsets, things that certainly the coaches and I have experienced in our own personal journeys, but these are actual mindset shifts that members of Project 90, our 90-day drinking cessation program, have expressed. And the tactics which the coaches have shared to invite them to try on something new. So as we go through this, I'm going to do that with you. I'm going to read the mindset, the old mindset, the fixed mindset, and invite you to consider something different. This is a big one. I drink because it helps me cope with stress or anxiety, or because it's just a habit I've fallen into. Alcohol's a tricky thing, isn't it? In the beginning, it seems to work. It does help us cope with stress or anxiety. And then it moves past recreation and into a habit, a dependence, straight up addiction. And we've been bamboozled. Our stress is higher. Our anxiety is increased. It may feel constant. It may feel like the only thing that will help either alleviate it or bring you back to feeling somewhat normal is another drink, which deep down you know is the last thing you need. Except how do you how do you break out of it? If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you've probably heard interviews with folks who have completed Project 90 or have completed Project 90 and Beyond 90, which is our 1 year, gets our members to 1 year alcohol free. And you've heard for yourself how their lives have changed. So I invite you to ask yourself this: is it possible that they were like me? Alcohol doesn't have any new tricks up its sleeve. It's going to play on the same things over and over again with just slight variations tailored to your life, your insecurities, your vulnerabilities. And so, is it possible to hear those stories to say, wait, people like me have made it to the other side, and they're saying they don't even miss drinking? So, is it possible for you to consider that instead of relying on alcohol, you can learn healthier coping strategies that will strengthen you in the long run? Is it possible to invite yourself to entertain the idea that you do have the power to choose new ways to handle life's challenges? Now, there's no guarantees, right? People who do this, they put in the work, they stay consistent, etc. Except change can start with awareness, just becoming aware of that mindset and considering there might be a different way to come at this. So if you find yourself saying to yourself or to others, I drink because it helps me cope with stress or anxiety, it's just a habit I've fallen into, take a moment and challenge that. Get creative. Is there another way to look at it? Here's the second one. The old mindset may sound something like, I know drinking isn't great for me, but it's not affecting me that much. I'll deal with it eventually. This comes up a lot with people who are considering making a change in our community. As you know, Project 90 works with a unique set of individuals. Every person in our program is high achieving. They have been goal oriented since as long as they can remember. They're leaders, they're innovators. They aren't the type to just kind of run, as my mom would say, willy-nilly in life. They're disciplined. They like order. They like routine. They like structure. And yet, when it comes to alcohol, they're really good at kicking the can down the road. If you've listened to some of my other episodes about how high-functioning problem drinkers are different, this will probably resonate. Because, yeah, drinking isn't great for you, and you still have your job. You still have your house. Maybe your kids go to all the right schools. Maybe you sit on the right boards. You're a leader in your community. It's natural to have that cognitive dissonance of, I can't be that bad, can I? Except deep down we know. And whether it's showing up in our blood work yet, or if it's making a significant impact in our family yet, deep down we know that it's more than just not great for us. And so, what would it feel like to bring in a familiar mindset, a mindset that you're accustomed to using in other areas of your life? The choices I make today, let's say in your business, determine my future. What if you tried that out with the choices I make today around my drinking determine my future?
Hi there, James Swanwick. Just a quick invitation for you to watch the scientifically proven stop drinking methodology that's been helping hundreds of successful people all over the world to reduce or stop drinking. If you go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90, you can watch the free neuroscience-based training. There's also a link in the show notes. Okay, back to the show.
I'm willing to do some work to get a life that's free from the negative consequences of drinking. I'm willing to put in effort to create that life. See, that may feel pretty familiar. If you resonate with the type of person that we work with, then of course, you know how to work hard today so that you can enjoy the benefits in the future. You know how to see a trend of negativity in your business and course correct. And you certainly know how to put in some work, some worthwhile effort into achieving your goals. So again, try it on. I know drinking isn't great for me. It's not affecting me that much. I'll deal with it at some point. What new mindset might serve you in a better way? Here we go with the next one. Stopping drinking seems really hard, and it's going to take away a lot of my fun and stress relief. Well, here's the thing. Doing this on your own is hard. It's often not successful in the long term. If it were, I think James and I would be doing other things with our lives. James would be helping people in a different way. And so we know that it's not easy to do this. And we also know that drinking is harder. Continuing to drink is harder. It's okay if you don't know that yet. I want to give you permission to have these thoughts, compassion around whatever mindset you're experiencing. A new mindset might be something like, by taking a break from drinking, I get to find out what life would be like. I get to experience more energy. I have renewed hope for my relationships. I have a real shot at improving my health or saving your health, depending on where you are. So again, right now it may not feel like you have a choice in your mindset. And I've explained some of the science and where that might come from, and it's a very personal thing. And so again, I'm not asking you to go hard with this new mindset. Try it on. What does it feel like? Is it something you could maybe try out for a while? Another mindset that comes up is, I'm a really good person. I have good values. Alcohol is just a part of my life. It's not like I'm a bad guy. I get that. I really get that. Now, here's what happens, though. I do believe that most of us have very good values. It's rare to meet a person who truly does not have good values. Life can get in the way of that. Drinking can really get in the way of that. And so, for example, when I was drinking, if you asked me, hey, what are your values? I would have said, my family, my health, my spiritual life, my career, my lots of things, right? I mean, but those are the top three that would come to mind. And you may have something similar, right? Oh, and integrity. I had always considered myself to be a very honest person with a lot of integrity. Um, Except then when I was in the cycle of drinking, those values didn't come through. Again, it's not like I was some horrible mother. I was doing what needed to be done. I loved my kids. They knew I loved them. I was kind of unpredictable and my light was dimmed. And so was my first value of family really, really being honored when alcohol was in the picture. So again, it doesn't have to be black and white. I'm a terrible person. I'm not a terrible person. I wasn't a terrible person. I was a person whose light was dimmed and who was compromised because of this substance. Does that sound familiar? That comes up a lot in our Project 90. And so it can be tough to take a look at that. I understand. I mean, I'm saying it on a podcast. It took me quite a while to even say it to myself. And then I learned some self-compassion, and that's what I'm getting at here, is that deep down, you know who you are. You know your values. And I have yet to meet a person who has said their values are not compromised because of alcohol. So a new mindset might be drinking conflicts with the things I care most about. By releasing it, I get to live in alignment with what truly matters. I've woken up a lot of times with a hangover, and now, thankfully, I've woken up a whole lot of times without one. And that feeling is priceless. That is something I'm not willing to give away, certainly not for a 30-minute high on a drug. What would it feel like to get there? To be able to wake up and say, I'm awake, I don't have a hangover, and I am living in alignment with what truly matters. Is that worth pursuing? If so, I have a couple of ideas for you. Here's another huge one. Quitting forever feels overwhelming. I don't know if I can do it. The name of our premium stop drinking program is Project 90. It's not Project Forever. This is a 90-day experiment. 90 days of giving yourself a chance. Talking about mindset, when members bring that up, and they do I have to say I'm not drinking forever? I might ask something like, where did you learn you were supposed to? So maybe start there. Where did you learn that you are supposed to say you're never drinking again? So I'm sure we've all heard the phrase one day at a time. And I think it became most popular through AA. But it's a pretty good phrase. When it comes to life, of course, we want vision for the future and we want to have a roadmap of sorts. And we all know that the way you achieve those goals and that vision is through your daily practices. And so in Project 90, we don't talk about forever. We talk about today. So a new mindset, which we've heard from members, is something along the lines of, I don't have to do this all at once. Today, I'm taking steps toward gaining control over alcohol. Another thing that has come up is something like, I know from my track record in life that I achieve goals. I have discipline. I leverage my momentum as I move forward toward bigger goals. And so, again, lean into what has worked for you in other areas of your life and ask yourself, is it possible that I could learn to do this when it comes to my relationship with alcohol? This is one that you may be experiencing. I should be able to handle this on my own. Asking for help feels like a weakness. I also addressed this on my podcast episodes around high functioning problem drinking. And again, where did you learn that? Where did you learn that you're supposed to be able to handle everything on your own? I mean, I get it. I'm Gen X, like a lot of you. And so certainly being self-sufficient is an admirable quality. Being independent, right? I get that. That kind of drives me. I like it. And over time, I've shifted that mindset to recognize, wait, things move much more effectively when I am in collaboration, when I have people on my team. Imagine if James, our founder, tried to do this whole thing at AFL by himself. Well, he used to. He did the coaching calls, he did the marketing, he did the podcasts, he did all of it. All of it. And then he realized, wait, I think this might go better if I had a team. I think it would be more effective if I brought people in with some skill sets that I may have, but they have more expansive skill sets, or they're more knowledgeable or experienced in certain areas. And so we've all been there, right? We've all gotten to the point in life where we've said, okay, time to bring in some help. That might look like someone who comes in and helps you with your laundry. Maybe you get your car washed. Do you know how to do it? Yeah. Could you do it? Yeah. Is it the best use of your time? It's up to you. I mean, I used to like washing my car, but typically that's something I'm willing to have someone else do for me so that I can use my strengths in more effective areas. So, what would it be like to apply that same mindset? And I mean, can you stop drinking on your own? That's a question only you can answer. If you've tried repeatedly, I don't know. What do you think? I couldn't do it on my own. And honestly, you guys, I didn't want to. I was exhausted. It's a lot to deal with. And so, is it possible that reaching out for support, that having extremely educated and experienced coaches guiding you through this, is it possible that that's actually a sign of strength and self-respect? Is it a bad thing to allow yourself to be held accountable, held to a high standard? Is it a bad thing to have a bunch of like-minded people cheering you on? Is that bad? Or is it possible that it's awesome? Goes back to that lone wolf thing. How is that working out? Is it sustainable? Is it worth it to just try something new? Again, Project 90 is 90 days. We can start there. You don't need to make any huge decisions. But if you start now, you'll kick off 2025 being alcohol-free. Don't start letting your mind wander to what am I going to do when everyone's pouring champagne? We will get you there. Don't worry. But consider the possibilities of what it would be like to enter 2025. How would you look? How would you feel? What might your sleep be like? Maybe your clothes will fit better. Maybe you'll be less puffy. Maybe you'll stand a little taller and straighter. Because those values of yours are showing up. So again, these mindset shifts can be paradigm shifts in your journey. It takes the focus off of the difficulties, real or imagined, of stopping drinking and just invites you to consider that this could be an empowering experience. A program, a process, not of limitations, but opportunities. Why not try that on for 90 days? Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. And until next time, take good care and have an awesome day.
Thanks so much for listening. If you would be kind enough to please leave a review in Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars if you felt this has been valuable. It really does help us to get in front of so many more listeners and keep spreading the word of alcohol-free lifestyle. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.